Hello, good afternoon, and whoever is watching, please get into the chat. Hector, how you doing? It's afternoon. It's 1 p.m. I don't know where you at. Where you watching the video from? What country or what state? Okay, Hector, you don't have PDFs on today because I think this is the first time you're here. So if you want the PDFs, email me after the lesson, and I'll send them to you. I do two broadcasts on Monday and two broadcasts on Wednesday. Well, it's 3 hour difference, right? So that's 12, 11, it's 10 in the morning there. Okay. Here's my email. Hold on. And that's my email. If you want the PDFs on this week's lessons, like from Monday to today, I'll send them to you. And if you're going to frequent this broadcast, I will add you to my mailing list. So what you want to do is email me, okay? And my broadcasts right now are free on Mondays and Wednesdays. Okay? So email me. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Are you a seasoned player? Are you a beginner? You have a gig? You play? What kind of music you like? So on and so forth. So tell me a little bit about you, and then just wait a little bit here until other people come into the chat, and we'll do a lesson. If not, if you're going to be the only one, I'll do something, but I'm not going to just talk to a computer. Now, if at any time you miss a broadcast, if you subscribe to my channel, you could see the video or the lesson, not live, but that it's been recorded. How's that sound, Mr. Hector? And how long have you been playing? What I do, what I'm doing recently now is because there's so many new guys coming in, they don't understand my concept, nor do they understand the language, like the level system, control strokes, turnarounds, the grid, so on and so forth. So, okay, well, that's good. But how long have you been playing, Hector? All right, well, if you're going to be the only one in here, and if you talk to me a little bit, maybe I can gear the lesson to your level of playing. How long have you been playing? And who have you studied with, and what kind of music do you, you play? So talk to me, make my life and your life a lot easier, and we could accomplish a whole lot. You've been playing 2 years. So I'm assuming you hold the sticks because you're been playing 2 years. You're holding the sticks German or match, so to speak. I'm a traditional player from the beginning, which is, excuse me, holding my sticks like so. If you're holding your sticks matched or German, German means the back of my hand is facing my face. My thumbs up to my face is French. So you have 3 ways, and they have an American grip. I have no idea what that is. There's the traditional grip, okay? Okay, that's good. You're holding your sticks traditional. That's great. When you were on the drum line, now field drumming and drum set drumming, it's like 2 different worlds. It's like, or 2 different seasons. One's summer, one's winter. Okay. Now, one thing, I mean, I was in the drum corps many, many moons ago, and you know, I learned all the rudiments. Back then, there was only 26 rudiments. Now there's 40, and now there's the hybrid rudiments, like the wash machine and baloney. This is the sticking for it, or whatever you want to call it. But that's okay. It's all drumming. So you come from the rudimental school where, like I said, when I first started, there was 26 basic rudiments. Now there are 40 rudiments. And the names kind of changed. Okay? Now, the school that I've been in and I'm coming from and I will stay in is there's only 3 rudiments. There's the singles, doubles, and flams. All other sticking is a hybrid kind of rudiment or sticking. From line 5 down in the stick control book, it's all hybrid and linear as well. Okay, so let me start someplace with you. I mean, I'm sure that you have a great set of chops because you're in a drum line. And those guys are magnificent, they really are. But they starting their, for regimental and military purposes, they're starting with their hands down, and they execute everything from here, which is cool. If it works, it works. For me, it's not. It's against my. It's against the scientific approach, and the scientific approach is what, the stick control. Okay, good. All right, let's talk about. I mean, you know how to hold a stick. You're holding traditional. You probably could do your single strokes at 9,000 miles an hour, blah, 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 and do some rudimental drum line cadences or whatever. And I think that's a good thing. But like I said, this kind of drumming and field drumming is like night and day, or winter and summer. So let me get to the level system in my approach scientifically. First off, there are 3 sticking heights that I work from. It's 18 inches, which is from here, from the tip of my drumstick to impacting of my drum or the drum pad. This is called the full stroke position. Now, my next stroking height would be a half stroke, which is half of the full stroke. And then the next one would be the quarter stroke. So again, we have the full stroke, the half stroke, and the quarter stroke. And that's basically what you want to know. Now, each one of those has a spectrum of different levels and different volumes. So I'm going to go right from understanding the sticking heights to control strokes, or AKA the level system. And I'm going to talk about the laws of physics. For every action, there's an opposite reaction. So for example, if I'm in the full stroke position and throw the stick down, the distance is pretty great there, and I'm going to produce a loud sound. Now, if I want to call it, now it was the full stroke position, but when I'm using it now, it's going to be called a free stroke. So if I throw the stick down and I allow the stick to come back to its starting point, that's called a full stroke, a free stroke. It was a loud sound. I'm controlling it. I stopped the stick, I threw the stick down, I let the stick come back to where it was supposed to be, or where it started rather. It's a loud sound. Now, the next stroking position or control stroke would be a downstroke, and that would be from the full stroke position to the downstroke position. I land about 2-3 inches off the drum. Again, the full stroke, which is loud, the distance is great, and the speed of the stick making impact is fast. All right, and then you have the downstroke. Now notice, the full stroke and the downstroke sounded the same. Full stroke, was a free stroke, and a downstroke. My next control stroke, or level, is I'm now in the quarter stroke position, and it's going to be a tap. All I'm doing is letting the stick come down and back to that starting point. It's a lighter sound. So now we have the free stroke, the downstroke equal in volume, and then the tap, which is not as loud as the free stroke or the downstroke because the distance is shorter. Then the next stroke would be an upstroke to get in position for a free stroke or a full stroke. Okay, so we have the free stroke, the downstroke, the tap, and the upstroke. So the free stroke and the downstroke sound the same. The tap and the upstroke sound the same. Okay? Now, that's for, I'm controlling my sticks. I want to play an accent here, an accent there, and I want to maintain, if I was playing, for example, 16th notes, single strokes, nice and slow. My right hand and my left hand, I tried to adjust it so it sounds the same. Scientifically, if it's coming down from the same point, it's going to sound the same. Now, if I want to get an accent, now what I do is I take it down to ground zero and extremely in slow motion so you could see what is occurring when you're playing. And you play like this whether you realize it or not, with the exception if you're in the drum corps with your starting position. There's extra movement, and it looks really nice militarily, but it doesn't really, it kind of like, you know, it's cool, but it's not. All right, so if I'm playing 16ths, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, and I want to accent the downbeat. I want to accent the count, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, like I said, I'm going to exaggerate it, and I'm going to play it extremely slow. What's this? Okay. So now, well, I'm going to start, and I'm exaggerating it. If I'm playing this, and you had a camera, what is this? Nobody's here. Yeah. Okay, you're here, huh, Hector? Okay. Yeah, well, you playing with one volume. You want to get accents. And, you know, here's where the confusion starts with this Moeller thing. I mean, you know, Sanford Moeller was a heck of a drummer. He really was. And he studied with a Civil War drummer. Now, you have to understand, Civil War drummers, you know, they were in the Civil War. And back then, they didn't have equipment like we have today. They had these really big, deep field drums with ropes and calfskin or mule skin. And, you know, the tone, you know, because they were of mule skin or calfskin, the weather would change the effect. So you have to understand now, here's 3, 4 drummers in the field. There's a battle going on. There's the drummer, I mean the general, and the commander, and the general, and the colonel, or whatever, on horses with the flag, and they're giving signals to the drummers, and the drummers have to play a certain thing, so that, you know, the first flank attacks or retreats, or right flank attacks, so on and so forth. Now, you have to understand as well that if you're in the battlefield back then, you know, everybody's firing their muskets, the cannons going off, everybody's screaming and hollering, bang and bang. So in order for the drummers, I mean for the troops to get the signal, the drummers had to pound that drum so that they could see or hear the signal and do what they were supposed to do. So that's why when you say Moeller or whatever in full strokes, if you're playing from up here, boom, boom, you're lifting and throwing, and you're more or less using the seesaw method, and you're pounding only because, and you have to get a loud sound, and the troops understand the signal, and they're doing whatever the drums say, and the drummers are getting the signal from the flag man, who's getting the signals from the colonel or the commander. Now, full strokes are loud. You know, that's a loud stroke because you're coming down from here. If you're going to play, say soft, you want to do single strokes. You can't use full strokes there. You want to get a lighter sound. So now I'm playing 16ths and I'm counting. 1E and a, 2E and a, 3E and a, 4E and a. And I want to accent the downbeat. And like I said before, I'm going to take this in a very slow motion. If you took this, that's a little slow, and you had a camera and you took a picture of that, okay, and you played it back, in slow motion, here's what you would see, because this is exactly what's occurring. 1, E, and 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and Now I'm setting myself up to hit that accent with no kind of stress or tension or fighting what the stick is supposed to be doing. That's where the control strokes come in. Now I'm going to play that again, and I'm going to say what I do. A downstroke, a tap, and an upstroke, and a tap. That takes care of 1, E, and the. Now believe it or not, the slower you play that, the more control you will obtain. The more control you obtain, speed will come into view. Without control, speed does not exist. So, let's take playing, let's just play right hand lead, 16th notes. And you understand 16th note counting, which is 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and so you have this now. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and what's the question? How long did I work it? Well, since I learned it, that was a long time ago. But see, what I'm doing is I'm just reinforcing and making stronger what is natural. You know, if you fight what's natural, you're not going to go anywhere. So I'm playing 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 E and Now today's lesson was turnarounds part 2, but I'm not even going to do part 1. I'm just demonstrating this now, how to get an accent. Like for example, when you do a paradiddle with the accent on the first stroke, all right? I call them alternating paradiddles, which they are. I'm starting with the right, starting with the left. So something's occurring there. And again, I have downstroke, upstroke. Why did I do the upstroke? To get in position for the up and coming accent on the second paradiddle. So I have down, up, tap, tap. Now notice the upstroke and the tap all sound the same. Downstroke, upstroke, tap, tap. And I'm in position to attack the next paradiddle. Downstroke, upstroke, tap, tap. When I'm playing paradiddles, not so fast, what is occurring there, and there's no way you could argue with this, is down, up, tap, tap, down, up, tap, tap. So now, we did the single strokes, 1 E and 2 E, 3 E and 4 E and now we're doing the paradiddle, 1 E and 2, 3 E and 4 E and Now that's just a brief example. I have, and I will be populating my site. My site is www.mattpatelalivelessons.com. Right now, the streaming company that I work with is doing a lot of renovation. So I've been doing my lessons on YouTube right now. But anyway, let me give you a really good exercise for these levels or control strokes. And it's not about speed. It's about how clean and how you can make the consistent sound. So I have a term I call the vamp. But, you know, the vamping that's another world with the stick control book. I'm just going to play eighth notes. 1 and 2 with one hand. 1 and 2, all the same sound. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Now, if you said you had the stick control book, you could open up to page 5. And let me know when you open up to page 5. What I'm doing now is I'm going to reference from the stick control book. You have the first line presented to you as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if I said, okay, let's look at that and eliminate the lefts. What I would have is 1 and 2 and 3 and play just the rights. Sorry, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If I did the same thing with line 2 would be left, right, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I said, okay, eliminate the lefts, and all I'm going to do is have the rights. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So let's just work with line 1 and line 2. I have an eighth note going on, eighth notes rather. So I'm going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I'm going to reference off the first line. I'm going to say the rights are falling on the counts of 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's going to give me, when I'm playing this, my accents. The first line, and this is not written in stick control, this is just a reference. I'm playing only the rights as accents. So the rights are going to fall on 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4. Totally relaxed. No pinching, no squeezing, no tension whatsoever. So I do the first line. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I go to the second line. Now, I'm playing the eighth notes constant. What's that? Hold on. 1 second, gentlemen. I'm playing the eighth notes constant, but now I'm on line 2, and I'm going to reference all the rights fall on the and. So when I'm playing this, I'm going to play just the ands as accents. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm just playing with the right hand right now. But you could do the same thing to the left. Same reference. For example, if I'm doing line 1, 1 and 2, playing eighth note. So I'm going to accent the counts of 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. No tension, no arm movement. It's all coming from the wrist. Yeah, the arm has to move somewhat, because then if you don't move the arm, you're going to become stiff. But we don't want nothing like this. That's ridiculous. Okay, you understand that, Hector? Hector, do you know how to read? You understand? I'm just going to do line 1 and line 2. And like I said, email me, and I will send you the PDFs on what I just did. And plus the PDFs for this week, that whatever we worked on Monday and Monday night, and today, this afternoon, and tonight. Do you understand this, Hector? Okay. You don't have to call me sir. My name is Matt. Hector. Okay, I guess you might have a kind of Latin background. Because we're going to do, we've been doing a lot of sticking patterns on a drum set application using 4 limbs, using the grid and using the clave, the 3-2 clave, and the biome. I'm sure you're familiar with those terms. But anyway, I have to close up in about 2 or 3 minutes. You have my email. I put it. Let me put it in there again, so you could have it. Hold on. Just email me. I'll put you on the mailing list, and I'll send you the PDFs for this week. Now, if you're not doing anything tonight, come back at 8:30 p.m. and you'll see what I'm talking about when I do a drum set application. Like I said, the 1 p.m. lesson I've changed, only because new people are coming, and I'm just making them familiar with terminologies and my approach and my concepts. And actually, I'm doing the 8:30 lessons geared on seasoned players. So feel free to do what I ask, and you'll be happy. Okay, if there are no questions, I'm going to close up because I only get until 1:30. Anything other than 1:30 I have to pay for. Any questions, Hector? Okay, fine. So just email me and I'll send it to you. And we'll see you tonight if you can make it. You two have a great rest of the day, and I'll see everybody who wants to come at 8. 8:30 rather. I'm sorry.